Great. Maybe one more, I guess.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Steuben County Board of Commissioners meeting for August 5th, 2024. First, Avenue claims, Cricket Lake Development Project. Good morning.
Morning. How are you? My name is Kevin Summers. My wife and I have been patrons of Cricket Lake and residents here in Steuben County for about 13 years now. I'm a local business owner. Facility lead for a joint venture between AGCO and Tribble. I work directly with corporate entities such as Nestle, Tyson, Southwest Airlines, Burger King, and others. Sustainable agriculture itself. I personally work in hand in hand not only to reduce the effects of greenhouse gas emissions, but to hopefully one day reverse the effects of global warming. I also say this because I'm presenting the proposal for development for Cricket Lake that's more than just bringing fuel and dining back to the community. 3 years since we lost fuel and any kind of restaurant food on Cricket Lake, and then on water quality, developing water quality programs as relate to runoff, contamination, and efficiency. So the International Institute of Sustainability Development it performed continuous studies on 58 freshwater lakes, and the study includes testing of several contaminants being petroleum-based and gas. Resulting from the testing of those 58 freshwater lakes as pertains to petroleum contamination. The areas in which direct fuel source decrease in phytoplankton, zooplankton, and small organisms that feed on plankton, meaning a 40% decrease in food sources within the place. So basically, I'm here as a call for environmental action because of the lack of fuel source for Cricket Lake.
First question, Don, I know we've had this discussion before. I'm going to direct it towards you if I might. Mr. Summers is suggesting, does that require any kind of a public RFP or
Into that for sure, but I think you're probably agreement, the lease arrangement without issuing an RFP, but I'll check for sure.
I believe when we had this session previously, yeah. Otherwise, I don't think that was the case.
I agree. I tend to agree with you, but I better check that. We've had some cases. Lease agreement without the RFP.
what the consideration would be
Absolutely.
For that. Again, for the property that the county currently owns.
There's been some discussion and then with the economic development across 200. I feel economically this fits in the scheme of what the county is looking to do. Actually establish that as a kind of a premier within the state for 4-H grounds moving forward as well.
This is something I'd like to see probably, some sort of public input meeting. Going on. There has been in other counties, government and private entities. Not concerned me that much. There is a lot of models out there where it's been done. So I think just I'd like to see what the public thinks about this.
And as the discussion we've had with the people involved in this development, I know we reached out to, I know, the 4-H and haven't got a response back. We would the county 4-H and actually make that a development that's worthwhile and everybody.
I think maybe a public input meeting at the event center. Some,
I agree. I think there needs to be discussion, public discussion on that.
Public meeting to get here
Yes.
sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah.
The way business works.
Yes. But
It appears that there's some urgency in reading this over. Meet what you've set out in here for next year.
Just because of the timeline for goals to be able to do a development, to have it ready, available for
We will try and get that scheduled as timely as we can then.
Sure.
I don't know that we could get a full agreement in by October 1st. Being able to do that, first of all, but secondly.
Sure. Any questions as far as that is concerned?
I was giving them time to clear out. The first one is a continuation of the point and pay credit card vendor agreement. And discussion that in July. So what they told us is different from what the initial conversation was. They suggested that building and planning stay under the commissioner's DBA, and then the health department would be its own. Original signed one from you back in May. I also have the waiver of the fee for setup, and then I also have a copy of the bills. Was combined for both the building and planning. That will not work with the health department. So I have two new ones, but I wasn't quite sure where it was decided that it was going to be paid out of. I know it was discussed at the May 4th meeting. That was the only thing I needed clarification on.
Is this our only source for such services?
Building the bridge for. So there has already been some work out with SmartGov, our actual permitting. I think this was mainly a hiccup. Right. I was pretty peeved with them when they told me this was going on. maybe a little bit more favorable because they are trying to meet us halfway after realizing their mistake in the situation. Would you like to see the two different versions?
So,
I made multiple copies, one for you guys, one for.
put your two originals together. In terms of them being able to deposit funds, assessor is unable to put them into one account and that they have to go into separate, or is that a function of the county government?
Distinct revenue sources separated through SBOA, each have a receipt, just deposit account.
So it doesn't go directly to the county.
No, no, we have a receipt. Planning and building had been working on for months previously.
Kelly, is that how that, them the bill?
The health department?
No, building and planning.
No. They hold it in their office and then they turn that in weekly, bi-weekly. So
That's for card.
Right.
That's what this would
Yeah.
establish.
They want to, if they wanted to do that, then they would get a bank account. It would be similar to like.
One.
Just one.
Yep, the setup fee as originally discussed was $500 and then a monthly fee of $50. What they're willing to do is waive the setup fee for the second account, but we still would have that monthly fee. So in grand total, we would, instead of $600, which is still fairly reasonable when it comes to processing fees. With private enterprise or with government?
Private enterprise.
People paying online and also coming in with a credit card and us processing it in-house. It's one of the only
The user of the card paying for the service.
Second. Yes.
And all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Aye. 2-1.
amendment through the grant. This is related to the immunization grant that was recently started in July 1. The quantity of 500 is not actually given. That I submitted on July 22nd. There is a 2024 Chevy Equinox, a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and Nissan Rogue. All-wheel drive and the Nissan Rogue are both under that $500 per month. The Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. So my request is to sign a vehicle lease agreement. We do have money for our insurance to cover this vehicle, and we do have grant contract year to cover the lease agreement if for some reason we are not awarded the grant in the future. This package out of Auburn. And we do feel that they're very similar, the Nissan Rogue and the Chevy, but
Any questions for
Second.
favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
I have a question. How's that gonna be billed or?
it is going to be one of those items that is, we're gonna get the bill and then we're gonna submit it for reimbursement and then pay it. And they're willing to work with us on that. The generator purchase request. So the health department actually has paid huge. 2008 and 2016. We also have pretty industrious Generac. Problem is, a lot of the events that we're going basically coming down together to support the load that we are pulling from our vaccine trailer. We do have some of this grant to purchase a more robust generator for our vaccine. So we're not going to place on that.
Sorry.
We can do with the remaining generators.
we're waiting till when we can use them. The two other ones we do use for certain events in the fall and the spring when we don't need to run the AC or the heat. Trying to figure out what we're going to be doing with. It was a grant purchase, but it is so loud. It is so loud and close. And we have actually let other departments use it, like community corrections during COVID. And we leased. So it's not like something we need to get rid of immediately.
Okay. Any further? Hearing nothing, all in favor signify.
Next on the agenda is on-site sewage ordinance. Quite a while ago, I brought this in front of the commissioners. Submitted to the TRP, which is a technical review panel at the state. And it was not even placed on that prior to this new legislation, which means they did this new format, they issued different changes. What we are left with is an ordinance that is pretty uniform across all the different counties. There are a couple of things that we definitely long-term holding tanks, the ability for individuals to do that if they have no other avenue. Reconnection, involuntary. One trailer off and doing bedroom for bedroom backyard. We don't want to force them to do family stuff. The current law does not allow for any. Those are the three. But this ordinance does need your approval to go to the tier.
This did not go back to Don.
I reviewed the original one.
Okay.
But there were changes from the original one to this one.
A little more comfortable with reviewing it.
Give you a paper copy right
Sure.
now.
Alicia, as you stated, that it makes the same ordinance.
Yes.
Does the one size fits all work for Steuben County, in your opinion?
Growing pains with learning about the legislation and how it's actually been implemented.
Okay.
We have some unique concerns because there are things that are happening when it comes to like point discharge. The conservancy districts, has been a lot of changes. They released legislation that was not 100% delineated and I would say defined, and so they're kind of working through those. They didn't do any work until February or March of 2020. They were still figuring out their own process. So, um, 360 was actually the conference you gave recent approval for. I did attend with the state health commissioner and it went wonderful. I think we spoke to online. And we got questions from a lot of different states, Ohio, Maryland. So it went very well. The request in front of you actually is for a sponsored training for our infection prevention, completely sponsored training, driving, no flying, and nature would to charge the county for the hours she actually works.
Nope. Any further discussion? Hearing none?
I have a question.
Yeah.
She's salaried, so she,
To count her hours at the training as hours worked.
okay, all right, sorry.
That's what I do.
Okay. Anything further?
I apologize on all of the confusion on.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Very nice. Thank you.
Fire equipment is going bad at the hospital. And due to that, all of a sudden they'll throw place that puts batteries in the main part of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye. Machines.
Yes, due to the fact Snyder's has moved vending machines into all the buildings now. And we no longer need these vending machines.
The old courthouse.
The old courthouse, yes.
Move to approve.
The two who already moved out our building, they're in our garage over there, the one, the old courthouse still in there.
Any further discussion?
So just have him get with Aaron
Yep.
on that.
Thank you, commissioners.
Yes, sir.
The computer is a standalone sole computer that will be installed in our office area for basically our crash reconstruction. Those and measurements that are done electronically now. You know, City of Angola has the computer that we went in years ago mutually on that. I have 3 occasions. They're very energetic. And so rather than waiting on our ability to get into the city, reporting, I think is how the line item was listed. There's plenty of funding in there to purchase a computer and I can use those funds. So
Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
That's good, with his signature.
for work done or installation of lights and radios. Our current provider vehicle in on trade at value. So he's offering the 4,000 for use of credit on this vehicle that he drives, so he's interested in that. Of course, it's rough. I wouldn't reissue it to anybody, but he takes them and through the for radio repairs and installations, and also buys vehicles fully outfitted. So it's a nice little system. We are short this year on that whole accounting thing. And then 2 administrative vehicles that we're having radios and lights put in. We fell behind. Approve.
Second.
The titles, always basically have
Sign off.
on it, yeah.
How do we do that? He said most counties just sign off on it. He takes care of the rest. We get our credit.
Sold one last week for 52.
One of my own card? Well, maybe we might want to hang.
That's what you just said.
Did I just say that? Yeah, everybody wants them.
I have a question to say. Anything further? Hearing none, all.
And a dryer repair is the last. If I could please get approval for that. That's one of the inmate dryers.
Move to approve.
Any further discussion? Signify with aye. Morning.
Things, the Delta T invoice that was for back actually work was done in May. There was one of those, we were getting like high 70 temps in the courtroom and it had to be done, and this is what it cost. So,
This is the old courthouse.
and I'm not, I don't know, did we get the maintenance things something figured out? I don't, you guys.
Found another source, but we're gonna try to
Okay.
move some funding
Okay,
around.
all right, that's
instead of
fine.
doing additionals.
Okay.
I have a question on this.
Sure.
What's that?
That's what it said. I know, I have no idea how they determined that. I do know that Chad went to Fort Wayne.
To me,
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
We're on the elevators and the ridiculous. I don't know, Don will probably want to look it over if he hasn't yet. The only other thing that was on here that, I don't know if we might need to discuss was the safe call, which is the honored it. I spoke to Tammy about this, and she said you guys might be a little bit aware of this. It gets kind of in there that when someone picks it up, we'll give 911 the exact address. And she said the only way to do unless IT can figure out another way, but I just spoke to her this morning.
We had that same issue in this building.
Yeah, she did say.
That's something we'll have to do.
Okay. And then I did speak to the gentleman, the back elevator is just about done. Hopefully coming, service it for 3 months. And he said we would just amend this contract, of course, you're getting okay. We wouldn't have to go through the whole process.
That at all.
I have, the contract's a 10-year contract with,
Renewal for us.
deal with those, so I will contact them.
Okay, okay. So their Kissinger are at the building today and they're starting to do the extra electrical work that was approved in the building. And they which is going to be quite a task, actually. Contacted Mitch Designs. They have the capability to on the 15th doing some other things. And she said they could move them for us. And, yeah, see a dollar wise, but been in there, you've seen those cubicles versus tearing them all apart. They have the get them out away from the wall so they can get to those whips and electrical fence on the outside walls.
That's something they can show us how to do.
Well, and it's not all that involved. Once I see all the, what needs to be unhooked and how, I'm hoping I can do that. So, and will. A little bit. He said, there's data cables run through there's electrical wires run through there. He said, I don't know what you're doing when you move it. So if you want me to put something together for, Kissinger was in the building this morning. They pointed out which units.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it needs to be
I'd like
done.
to see what the cost
Okay.
is.
Okay, I'll do that. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Yes.
Scott's next.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jim. Look at him like Scott. Morning, Scott.
Morning. First thing on my agenda is the projects next year. So my recommendation is not to do the increase next year. I believe we're at where we should be right now. Like to put it out prior to the season before that, so that everybody's aware of that. Probably stay within a 3 to 5% increase.
I thought we had kind of determined we'd had a 3-year kind of plan on getting those rates up where we wanted them to be.
That was between transition. I didn't find those minutes, but I thought we had tabled it until we did the increase for this year.
For this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we had a schedule. So I'll take a look at that and see what,
I couldn't pull those minutes up, so I wasn't.
right, yeah. Idea behind that.
There was some thought to getting rates up to where they should be market wise, but
Is that, did you pretty much full all summer long or?
With the month 7 empty lots right now out of the 14, so we got people on and off all the time. We're
Of
about-
of your weekend.
Yes,
lots,
we're,
yeah.
we're about. We were fully booked with two lots with capacity in each front end to get this. So we're ahead of the game.
And with the substantial increase we took it last year, we might wait a year, but let's review that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Next thing I have updates. The first thing I want to talk about, maybe Kelly or Ann can help me on this one. Payments through credit card. So when I'm looking at that, how does the credit card's payments get put onto the ROC?
Yeah.
Is that at the end of the year that happens, or?
No, it would get broken out monthly. Have you discussed it with Sarah?
So my question is, how are we tracking those credit card payments on the ROC? Who interest was on there?
And they should be on there.
Okay.
She includes those, at least she has been, including all that was on there.
Maybe when I ask for further.
She wasn't finished with it yet, but yeah, she puts all those on there. And that gets turned into Ann.
On 4901, the stone and gravel, all of it, $352.79. That did the driveway in front of the new dock sections. Would like to take that, use that $352.79 to add more wash sand to the beach.
Okay, so can you repeat that? Because I only had just one thing on the agenda for you.
I'd like to use that to purchase sand for Crooked Lake Beach. I believe that fund number changed, correct, after we changed the. You watch sand, there's only one gravel pit company in the area has one that has a back of money from 2 years ago. I did it 2 years ago. So. As long as it's washed for good.
Okay.
To approve.
Second.
I went over all this stuff with fine tooth comb on the weekend. That fund was for gravel. I don't know if there's a difference.
What's your definition of small gravel?
Yeah, the gravel would be the same thing, so, yeah. Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next thing I'm gonna update is the triathlon. We're limited on parking, so he's gonna come out and look at the Crooked Lake area, see if he can't do something out there this year. They brought their own porta johns. They cleaned everything up when they were done. It was they were there, so they're very Light and Bearing, as soon as they release their program, release us so we can enter in all the cards. Once they do that, I will text you guys your codes so you guys can get in and out as well. And
emergency vehicles.
And I say emergency vehicles is the first one to come to mind.
Emergency vehicles is
Police that need access to it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there should be a generic code for them.
they're gonna use their wall sirens.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once they do that, that's hopefully this week. It's through Ethernet.
Buy air horns and things that make those sounds.
Well, they can adjust that, so hopefully it's not a big one.
Same
See
thing.
somebody pulling up in their car and taking a thing and whoop, it opens up.
That was. Okay. Music Fest went very smooth. Not better. We also added several more parking curbs down at the beach, just in the inside circle there. Have 11 weekends booked at the event center and 3 midweeks, going to the end of the month, probably gonna be booking some more, so just to kind of give an idea where. Did receive a lot of positive feedback in the last couple of weeks of how the park looks and what the progress will be. Is currently parked right now. It needs a new water pump. I just replaced the front passenger wheel hub on that as soon as I get. To do more research, we'll get that. It's really perfect.
4 years to Dodge.
That is a 2016.
Yeah, 26. Yeah, that's what.
That's the one we got handed down from the sheriff's department.
Yep.
14. Okay. Last thing I have on the agenda is we were up in Clear. She donated a ice swing for the beach up there, so we took $150 out of donations and.
What was that?
A glider swing. And she came across it, hey, she'd like to do it again, and I'm like. She just asked. I can store it away and we can put one of the barns out there. That's all I have unless you guys.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Mr. Slagle.
Okay, now we're.
I've been reluctant to come to you guys. I think this is only the second time I've come to you since I've been in office. So you guys have Indiana Code 36-2. And pro.
And 15.
There you have it. Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else need a copy? This is kind of a bigger request, but it talks about the compensation for the surveyor. We've verified markers along with 611 miles of county regulated tiles and drains. And if you'll read in the difference between that would be $2 for myself for each county regulated tile and drain. $222, along with $2 instead of not. And there's 1,420 of those, which would be a total of $1,000. I never brought annual surveyors meeting. It was shut down during COVID, and I guess I kind of came in around that time. And so first, go to the commissioners and talk to you guys about this first. So this is tough for me because I don't like.
I would ask Don, can you review section? Yes, we'll probably look at it.
With the approval of the county executive. So I guess he's asking, has it been certified? And it should just be discretionary with you either can or cannot.
I did reach out to the State Board of Accounts also. I'm sorry, Don, I did not mean.
Filed with the approval of the county executive. So it'll be up to the county executive to decide that. That's why he's here, I assume.
This corner perpetuation fund is where it can come out of. That was my main question, just.
Okay.
That standard pay, or does that?
It'll have to be part of his pay. Where's the sheriff? Side, I don't know. We have the sheriff, there's one that he does too. That. To have the certification, we'll have to have that in writing.
And how do we get like the GF? I mean, yes. It's kind of funny too because he counted out first. We're like, no, that's not it. Thanks, but it's not correct.
We'll get something back in writing from him.
And an elected official's wage cannot be increased during the year, so would this be for 2025?
It'd have to be 25, yeah. But do you know, on the sheriff's, is it just one flat?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, talk to Tracy.
Okay, with payroll.
Because that looks like whether or not his funding sources.
Right.
So.
Kind of a, just
Approximately 250 some thousand in perpetuation funds, so that this definitely comes down. I'm going to come to you for this, so.
Don says it's up to us as to whether we
Yep.
choose to do it or not. Right?
At this point, I'll just get something in writing from EIS.
From Garrett.
Perfect.
Certifying the numbers at least, and then we can. Early over the weekend, I was trying to determine whether it was the county surveyor or just a surveyor in general.
It's a county survey.
So, yeah.
To the
You can way back to the top.
top and then
Yes.
back, yeah.
Okay, because that's where we're just getting an X over there. Okay, thank you.
See you back here at 2 o'clock.
All right. The official approval of an additional for some things they found on the west facade.
Taken care of, since I had got a verbal on that, but the commissioners have moved forward. Atlas is telling me they should a little quieter in here today, that you're trying to. Great.
So we had budgeted, $7,773, which was above to start with, and the additional $5,973, that'll all be Cuban capital.
second.
Any further discussion, any questions?
No.
Thank you, commissioners. Moving forward, Fort Wayne Roofing, working on the so you can put an eye on prior to this morning's meeting, and Abby was made of that as aware of that as well. Advisor on Friday, but inclement weather prevented that from happening. I did get a text message from him while sitting in this meeting that they wanted to open that wall back up and take another look at it, see if they could determine that they are exactly right with these measures for wall and the membrane that's on the exterior. Pretty incredible when we go up there and open that wall up and at my first day at this job 17 years ago. They were cutting that plywood and carrying it up from the parking lot to why it's rotted completely away other than there's moisture. As soon as I stuck my hand behind that barrier, I could feel the moisture in there. Atlas, to have him put a second eye on it to see if he can come up with a determination for that. Not that I don't have faith in Fort Wayne Roofing. Therefore, or not. That wall is completely blocked in. Back in that era when I come aboard, it was all. Whether that was Zelkowski's that rebuilt that or whether that was Fort Wayne Roofing, I do not recall that. I went back and looked at that contract. That was rebuilt at that time. You can look at that block work and it's all new, reasonably new compared to everybody else. A good fix for us, but I was just curious about, we start looking at the frost pack or throw crack as they call it here, and then the bat insulation. I would just liked another meeting with Full Line Roofing and go over this face to face, maybe bring a commissioner involved. For it to be done right this time.
Okay. So we'll just table it for the time being.
That's kind of my thoughts here. You.
So we should have some. These would be quotes for the house digging project.
Dollars. Several, 8 different prices. That's the total. $27,690. Subheadings.
Request permission to. I have several LPA in. First one is claim number 7 for right-of-way services for County Road 100 North, 100 West. Cents. Second one is claim number 8 for preliminary engineering for the bridge replacement on County Road. $38.03. Next one is claim number 15 for preliminary engineering for the countywide bridge. $6.25. Next one is claim number 16 for construction engineering. $59.27. And the last one is claim number 50 for preliminary engineering.
Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
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 Thank you. Okay. Updates, Bridge 51. Thursday, so we're gonna do a secondary inspection on Friday, hopefully to finalize the project and close it out. 90% of the approaches are in. We have 1/2 of a concrete or approach left to go and all kind. Asphalt this week, so asphalt's coming. County Road 200, 100 North. Just waiting to hear about accepted or not. I know one has been accepted by the property owner, but we're waiting on the last one. Our stage 1 plans in, so I'm starting to review those. Country Trail, our surveys. Not
notify everybody who's gonna get awarded for the second round of community crossings for 2024. October, we'll find out if we got our small structure 7 project. The community crossings and I have money left in my striping project. I asked for a change order to allow me to stripe because I will have a striping contractor on Van Gilder for that project and to restripe the section of Golden Lake Road that we have a change order. The total for striping both of those roads is $13,801.86. It's the same. Approval to approve the change order. Move to approve.
Second.
Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I should have mentioned that I have the money sitting. Steuben County, Fueling and Salt Barn, met with Oscar Larson, worked through the layout. Take 3 weeks to install the fuel center, but that's kind of when we think they're gonna start working right now. We selected DLZ, we submitted all that paperwork to NDOT, we're just waiting for NDOT to send the draft contract for review. Okay, I'll get back to everybody, make sure we can get that selected forward. Speed radar sign. The same signs that sheriff's departments are using on the full trailers. So instead of paying have work to do on the trailers. Still working through all that. NDOT, I'm gonna ask for preliminary approval of the proposed board. They were supposed to send it, but it hasn't arrived yet. NDOT is looking at doing a bridge deck. 69. The proposed detour route is 200 north to 275 north to 200 west. But I would like to have them have 110 west as the unofficial detour. Both routes, we know traffic will come through it. So when we do unofficial detours, they have to videotape the roads before and after. I would like the commissioner's approval to approach them using 110 west as the unofficial detour.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
I have a letter of intent to purchase a John Deere 325G compact track loader in our budget. Lease program where I can turn my skid loader every year. And this is just the official letter. It needs to be approved by you guys. For re-upping that lease. It's $2,500 and
Motion to approve. Okay, I'll second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye. Aye.
I have to write the letter. There's no place for you to sign because you have to approve it. So. Thank you. Other than that, we are just days away from having chip seal done. Then we'll get back to patching, working on road signs, we're mowing all over the county. Start prepping next year.
I did a couple of the chip seal roads and they were very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just a thought. Good to see you. They'll just set them where we,
You mean an acceptance box or a?
yeah, a drop box. It's just a thought to.
So a receiving box, not a sending box. Or does a sending box?
You're right, a sending box where you can put stuff in.
Sheriff, you use them all?
We usually go to,
Sorry.
Yeah.
You guys go daily to North Main Street?
yeah.
On trips. Missy's. On apartment. Because FedEx would hardly ever come to our office. UPS does 2, 3, 4 times a week. FedEx does not. Ever FedEx that's reporting documents and take them to the receptacle.
And it doesn't, it's not any cost or anything, it's just I thought it would be easier if we could pass it out this year.
We have a mail receptacle out there.
Where would they go?
Right, that's what I was.
Plus,
I assume they each have their own individual one, that they would not do a combined one by any means, right?
Right.
that one, just, I guess, look into it a little more and let's see what it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Make sure you have the right hat on. And make sure you have the right hat on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cybersecurity liability insurance policy for this year. We always have to fill out an application each year. Have a $2 million policy. They did quote us between 2 and 5 million. So this is your decision on what risk you.
The county mining counter, hopefully never. But this is through, the underwriters, the Net Guard Plus cybersecurity insurance. Total on it would be $19,836.83. The $3 million. And that would be with the goals, which we kind of did just via email so that the underwriters had an idea. So, so it's a little bit more expensive this year than what it was last year, not much. So, I do have a line item, a cybersecurity insurance line item, has 15,000 in it. I can transfer some other funds. It's just up to you all on what you would like to have. The $2 million policy, yes, and that was in, reason being was because actually that the auditor and I were going back and forth with funding here, so they included all funds, which is why the cost is not just general funds.
right. No, so that's why the
I'll unfortunately move to approve because legal necessity.
yeah. We currently have.
Yeah.
Was that Ken or what? Ken did, thank you.
Andy first, Ken second.
Aye.
$2 million policy.
For the 2 million.
Yeah, I have the form. The application, and then, yeah, I think you might have. This one has, just has the pricing. I have copies. Or. And Kelly, when you get a chance, this was. Yes, since you and I,
Since we
for the
talked.
larger amount, yeah. Thank you.
Amy, this one document, the only place I saw was a signature for you.
Okay, I can sign that, that's not a problem.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, please. Thank you.
You want some used furniture?
Yes, yes, I sent a list over, I don't know if you have the list in front of you, just to give you some ideas. Another one who uses part of the table that we got, I think in 1992 or 1993, and an officer who used acquire those, we would have to purchase new items.
I really don't. Yeah. Yeah.
And items that I listed, we've checked with those staffs, and they don't want any of those items that they left.
Warehouse that got moved over and they ended up not using it, so there's even stuff up there that can be used, so. Add some stuff and.
Okay.
All right, if I do that.
What? I had no issue with deferring that.
You can take a vote on that, also that for the
Yep.
minutes. Verbal vote.
Sure.
Different.
A second.
Okay. Ever signify?
We could use those too, because we send our drug testing, so we're having to drive those too.
Okay.
Okay.
Wasn't much talk about that.
Thanks for adding that.
Thank you.
All the department heads to see what their use of it would be. The drop boxes. Or in between.
Yeah.
For agenda items other than other business items, I will say it was interesting going through the new reports. I found myself going back to the old reports and referring over a little bit to get started. $763,354.99.
To approve? Second.
Second, any further? Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
We also,
Yeah, is
these are
that,
new.
yeah, is that. The machine itself created that, the software.
So you'll be seeing
It's okay. It's messing. They're all in one.
Oh, okay, because I thought you gave a
Did the total dollar amount. Payroll. 1 cent.
Move to approve?
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Aye. claims in one number.
So there
So there was
was,
like 4 different ones.
you guys will have individual sheets to sign as well, and then one with the total amount. 15.
Yes, 15.
Yeah, the first has already been approved, you just need to sign it.
Okay, so we just need to sign July 1st.
Okay.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
These 3.
Yeah, 3, 4.
4 things. These are.
This one. B and a C.
This will take a couple times to get used to.
Go ahead. It's sloppier and sloppier each time I say it. It's terrible. Okay, off to RQEW invoice. 17,455.95.
Just on their draw.
Yeah. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Some additional allocations flowed in finally again, right?
Yes, there were several of them. These numbers in there, or did we just do one flat?
Is how we set it up.
But we can, I mean, increase that if you want that.
It's only 130.
EDC, they do want that one signed. I think is supposed to sign that. We don't. These are your recommendations.
We can't really commit to it.
I will, he was wanting an answer back. I can tell him that this is. I went through today's meeting.
not-for-profits, I think we just bulk loaded, we put a bulk number in based on a specific.
I will, if you go back to me, just add them all up,
We could always have a quick admin meeting if needed
discuss them.
to go through. Council
Maybe on the 22nd.
on the 22nd.
Well, they have their regular meeting next week.
Construction contract with Shingles.
There was a one that came through.
Okay, now you go ahead.
I think you guys already approved the tentative one.
Yeah. Favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Executive session.
And you should only have one of those. We only did one day, correct?
Yes.
It was 16th, Tuesday.
So it is the 16th. That needs correct. So
This one does say July 16th.
the one I'm looking at says Tuesday, July 15th.
Okay. Correct. That was the Monday. Tuesday was the day that we met. Monday was the cancellation.
Right.
Yeah. Give me a second here. Yeah. Tuesday the 16th.
The 16th.
To approve.
Favor signify with aye. Voice from Julian digging up our parking lot up there to maybe figure out what. Is there a tile under there?
There's a tile under there. Yeah.
So they repair the
They
tile.
repaired it. No. Flushed out again, so it's
So it's still under construction.
still under construction now. Yeah.
So there will probably be do an approval on that 114973. That'll have to be a Q cap item.
Move to approve.
$48.88.
Freight was more than.
That's, I know. Freight was more than the end.
Yeah. is this a bond item? I don't know what this, I don't know what it was.
You. Some, stuff they purchased and put in the,
Yeah. I question that freight though.
So just copy of that. You said it came from Canada?
Oh.
Yeah.
We pay back in Canadian dollars.
You want a copy of it?
What's that?
Of the, because all we get is just what they type up.
Just tell her it looked a little before we.
you want to tentatively approve it?
Table it?
Yeah, I understand the international. Okay.
This is cleanup. This is what he wants signed.
Right.
And then the certificate of appointment, I think. Yeah, we did. But I can't remember which one of you are on it. Is it
I'm
you?
on it, but do we need to go back and look at the minutes?
Did you happen to find that in the minutes yet? No. It would have been one of our first meetings, so.
Yeah. If it's already been approved in the minutes, then we can just do it
Okay.
post.
Yep. Yeah, I think we just got to send the document. Which you did earlier.
But we should have passed that already. Or is that for 25?
This is for.
So we'll just have to table that for the time being until it's approved by council.
I'm sorry. This agreement shall commence on the first day of January of 24 and continue through December 31st of 24. My bad. It is 24. Just use those dates. It's in the minutes.
It says requested approval of the vote centers for the general election on November 5th. Anthony. IMCA Steuben County, Steuben County Event Center, and Pleasant Lake Community.
Is the reason why we're not the new business center or something?
It's early voting.
Yeah, okay, that's just. I'll second.
Any further questions? Not all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Yes.
That's the,
Is that?
that online, that Robin Camp. That I haven't been able to go to meetings because
and spoke with Gary Rummel, Commissioner from Williams County. And I also reached out to Tom Selman. Well, and Tom was working on a study himself.
Right.
But basically what both of them told me, well, first, what they were wanting is just to see if we wanted to help contribute to knock down their $42,000 it's cost them. It's a good organization, but everything they're doing is in Ohio. It's not over here necessarily in Indiana yet. And meeting to bring people up to date on where they're at with this. But if you want to just wait until they're working in Indiana, that would be better. But you do not have, all you're doing is helping them pay for their study in Ohio. That's all this is for.
However, it's just my thoughts here. However, if they wanted to present to us and show that, consider it.
So with the work that's being done by Tom, as well, so are they going to?
Tom and that group have been working together trying to get there's some stuff we can do combined with some of this information. So I think they're working together. Indiana, I think that whatever we find out in Indiana will go and merge in with the Ohio study because it is part of the same water. Does hit into northeastern Steuben County, Michigan, and Ohio. I would recommend we, like I said, listen more.
Let's see if Tom wants to work with you guys as well. Asking if he wants to. I don't know anything about that.
This is a presentation that I think we had requested. And this is their proposal back to us. Remember we did this is what, 80 to 120,000,
somewhere around there.
Yeah. So.
What's this?
For the artwork, yes, and they'll do.
Doesn't appear that there's anything there.
So is every
That was the way I interpreted it.
Those individuals in there
go purchase it in our order is what we're doing.
And that includes framing, the labor.
Yes.
Yeah, pictures of the judges and
History.
the signage that all this is done, yes. My thoughts, no, but
Everything shakes out the next couple of months and then see what we have left in the bond maybe. But, there's, I know. Surprises, yeah. I personally, I do think it is a need to have a lot of local artists in something like that. But I would have no problem tabling it until we know this will be the last thing we do.
If we're looking at 80 to 120,000 from somebody else, I don't know that I have any. Huh?
Yeah.
Would suggest would be.
Right, it would just be prints and, generic stuff. This is, they did pictures and stuff like that, but I think a lot of this is being done, volunteer. Obviously, we're paying for some of the paintings, but yeah. So,
but we took everything down here and it looks very nice.
The things that were in the old courthouse to the
some, yeah,
courtrooms and stuff.
yeah, I think there's some they want to leave. The courthouse, because it was original to that courthouse. And since we're not getting rid of it, I don't think they want to take it out.
It's new form. I said in its new form.
It's new form.
The discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify.
We're about to discuss the, should we?
Interviewed candidates. What were their numbers?
One's on Monday, which did not happen. 2, 3, and 4 are the numbers.
I have an idea, but I don't want to make sure.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, yep, yep. Okay. Is there a particular candidate that you would be interested in
Offering the position.
offering?
And then number 3 would be one I would be interested in offering the position to. Is that?
With that,
What was the top 58?
If your motion should name the position.
I will amend my motion for candidate number 3 for the facility superintendent job.
And the
58,894.
Yes, that's of a salary of 58,894.
Yes.
Hearing none, all in favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Anything? Change order for ballot is $8,840 for the seals. Part of the signage package.
Yes.
Yeah.
To approve? Second.
Favor, signify with aye.
Aye.
Is that the original? We're gonna need a copy of it.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm gonna sign that one.
Yes. Hearing nothing else, we will stand in recess.